I believe you. Now, who among you here, you've been forgiven by Christ at least 10,000 times? Wonderful. Can we praise God for that? Yeah. Okay? So, that's also the number of times we forgive others, especially our spouse. You do not tell your spouse, nakailan ka na, how many times already? Okay, one more, I won't forgive you anymore. Can that be? Okay? Christ never told us, one more time, I won't forgive you anymore. Jesus never said that, right? So let's forgive one another. What do we need to forgive each other of? So, forgive each other for not fulfilling God's design. Okay? So, if you're not following God's design, whether it's love, respect, submission, being a leader, or a lover, forgive each other. Forgive also each other for the missed expectations. Okay? You know? What happens? No? When you were still courting each other, oh, he's so opposite of me. Okay? And then you say, opposites attract. You know what happens? Before, opposites attract. And now, opposites attack. Okay? The ones that you found so cute before because you're so opposite, now that you're married, it's now what? Irritating. Okay? That's why they said, love is blind, but marriage is an eye-opener. Okay. Alright. So forgive each other also for all the pride and selfishness. Think about it. If you were just humble, what were the conflicts that could have been avoided if only you were humble? Right? So forgive each other of the pride and selfishness. Forgive also each other for the lost opportunities. These are the what ifs, or if only. If only you did this, then we could have had that. And you couldn't still let go. You're still kind of regretful, or you're kind of still disappointed with your spouse. Like, if only we did this, if only you decided that, then we would have a better life, etc. Okay? Number 5, forgive each other also for the broken trust. Whether it's real or vain imagination, we need to forgive each other if there was distrust. Okay? Whether you found out that your spouse was lying, or your spouse was cheating, or not faithful. Okay? For all the broken trust, we need to forgive each other. So I encourage you, forgive now and start rebuilding trust one step at a time. You know what? When your spouse lies to you or you feel betrayed, it's not easy to forgive. But you forgive not out of emotion, but out of your commitment to the Lord. And then trust is rebuilt little by little. Okay? It takes time. It's like a vase. Okay? It takes time to build a vase, but it takes only 1 second to break it. Just like with trust, it takes time to build trust. But one mistake, it's shattered, and you have to start sometimes from the beginning. Okay? So it takes time. Now, if I ask you, okay, what is your dream car? Okay, tell your seatmate, what's your dream car? If you can buy any dream car, what's your dream car? Huh? What's your dream car? Oh, do you like cars? Okay, shout out, what's your dream car? Porsche. What else? Kia. Cybertruck. Okay. Sarao. Okay. Does anyone know what this car is? Okay, yeah, I heard it. So I think this is a 1967 Ford Mustang. Okay? So I'll tell you a story about it. Okay? This is, the Ford Mustang is my dad's dream car. Okay, that was my dad's dream car before. Okay? And what he did was, years ago, he got he bought an old, almost broken down Mustang, started to restore it, spent a lot of money to make it like look really vintage and nice, and spent a lot of time and money in it. All without the knowledge of my mom. Okay? So, he bought the Mustang from a province, I think Pampanga, and then brought it to a repair shop. And every time he comes from his flights, he would travel to that place, and then, I'm not sure where, oh no, I think it was, yeah, in Manila, to have it repaired, and spend a lot of time. But all without my mom knowing. And finally, the Mustang is nice and beautiful and ready. He brought the car to my auntie's place for parking temporarily. Okay? Before he will reveal it to my mom. Okay? Now, one day, the phone rang, my mom answered it, and it was her sister, my auntie, okay, who was in another city, and said, Cecil, you have a very nice new car. And then my mom said, what new car? Okay? And then my dad said, oh, by the way, I bought a Ford Mustang as my gift to you. Okay, yeah, right. So, he drove the car and then gave the car to my mom. But to make the long story short, it was a very big fight. Okay, it was a very, very big fight because of the broken trust. Okay, and he spent a lot of time, money without telling my mom. Okay, so, but after a while, my dad apologized. Okay, my dad apologized for doing that because, it was really wrong. But it was still parked in our house. And every time my mom sees the Mustang, she remembers all the hurt. Okay? She remembers all the hurt and she will just stay quiet, but she still gets hurt. And then once in a while, my dad will say, honey, let's drive around in the Ford Mustang. So in submission, she will ride the Ford Mustang and they will drive around. But she was hurt. Okay? Because of the broken trust. And then my dad finally got convicted in this. He said, okay, let's sell the Mustang, just so that you don't see it anymore. But my dad realized it was hard to sell the Mustang. So instead, it continued on for several months that the Mustang was in our house. And every time my mom sees it, she feels the hurt. But my dad has apologized. And eventually, finally, I was there when the Mustang got sold. And maybe in God's timing, the blessing is it got sold on the week of their wedding anniversary. Okay? And they were fully restored. Okay? So, you know what? The key word to all of this is humility. Everyone say humility. Okay, so gentlemen, if you already bought a Ford Mustang, today's the day you can tell your wife.
Reveal day.
Okay, you can reveal something that you bought. Okay, all right. So that's the idea. Okay, so forgive completely and immediately. All right.
Okay, yes. The fourth one to rekindle the love in our marriages is to foster a healthy communication. Right? Because remember, that's been the burden earlier, is the rift in communication. So we need to address it. We need to do something about it. But you know what's the definition of our right communication? It's not necessarily what is said, but it is what is understood. Tama ba? Right. But have you heard of the 9 words women often use? Are you familiar with those words? Men? No? We'll tell you, sir. This is the first word. If you hear women say, fine, this is the word women use to end an argument when they are right and you need to shut up. Fine.
Fine.
5 minutes is another word women use. If she is getting dressed, this means half an hour. 5 minutes is only 5 minutes if you have just been given 5 more minutes to watch the game before helping around the house. 5 minutes. Okay, number 3, another word, nothing. Have you heard women say that? Nothing. Well, this is the calm before the storm, because this means something and you should be on your toes. Arguments that begin with nothing usually end in fine. Okay, number 4, go ahead. Go ahead. If you hear women say that, men, this is not a dare. Oh, this is a dare. It's not a permission, so don't do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Loud sigh. This is actually a word, can you believe? But it is a non-verbal statement often misunderstood by men. A loud sigh means she thinks you're a fool and wonders why she is wasting her time standing here and arguing with you about nothing. Refer back to number 3 for the meaning of nothing. Number 6, that's okay. That's okay. This is one of the most dangerous statements a woman can make to a man. That's okay. That's okay means she wants to think long and hard before deciding how and when you will pay for your mistake. That's okay. Thanks. Okay? A woman is thanking you. Do not question or faint. Just say, you're welcome. This is true unless she says, thanks a lot. Okay? Which is pure sarcasm. And she is not thanking you at all. Do not say you're welcome because that will bring on a whatever. Okay? Whatever is a woman's way of saying whatever happens, I'm not going to be happy. And lastly, a woman would say, don't worry about it, I've got it. Have you said that, women? Don't worry about it, I've got it. It's another dangerous statement, meaning this is something that a woman has told a man to do several times, but is now doing it herself because he never did it. This will later result in a man asking, honey, what's wrong? For the woman's response, refer to number 3, which is nothing.
You know what? Men and women are really different. When the woman tells the man nothing, the man will say, nothing pala eh. Wala, nothing. Okay, but for the man, for the woman, there is something. Okay, so women, you have to understand, men are not mind readers. Okay, if that's what you say, that's what they'll think that you mean. But you know what? There's more to that. That's why there's communication gaps.
Yes, which is why this is really how we foster the communication. Is we need to share our thoughts because sometimes we keep it to ourselves, especially women, right? For me, I'm like that. Sometimes I'll let Ryan figure it out. Okay, I don't have to tell you, figure it out yourself. But I realize, why do we have to let them assume? Okay, why don't you assume that the person knows what's already in our minds when the truth is they don't know? Okay? Grabe talaga yung dito, hashtag. Okay. You know what? I remember Ryan was asking me, what do you want for your birthday? And I couldn't really think of anything. It's like, just figure it out, okay? So anyway, eventually he gave me a gift. I opened it, and lo and behold, it was a kitchen knife. How sweet, Maybe he thought I needed a knife because I cook a lot, but then I realized, really?
Lamb chops.
Lamb chops.
For the lamb chops.
For the lamb chops, okay? Proper. But then I realized, because he was asking me, but I was not sharing my thoughts, or sometimes even when we go, as simple as, where do you want to eat? And like, anywhere, okay. And then when we get to the restaurant, it's like, why this? I don't want this cuisine. Right? Yes. Because I wasn't sharing my thoughts. So yeah, why not share your thoughts? Okay? Number 2 is also not just your thoughts, but also your emotions. How you feel. Because when we keep it to ourselves, eventually, do you agree? It piles up. Like when you keep putting it under the rug, right? And eventually, you will just explode. It's because you have been keeping it how you feel to yourself. And this is something, I've been reminded of to do, me and Ryan. Why don't we practice sharing our thoughts, our emotions, like even during the day or even at night, we're in the room? 2 questions you can ask yourselves, each other. Okay, honey, what's your high for today? Okay? And then that can be a course of conversation, like, what's your high for today? For example, today, hey, you know what? Spending time with the so-called people was a high for me. I met so many friends, people that, so beautiful, lovely people. That's your high for today. Okay, but what's your low? What's your low for today? What made you felt, that you're a bit sad or maybe a bit low for you? And then you just say, oh, I don't know, I felt anxious towards this and that. So that can be